Professor Krelnix had taught xenobiology field studies for 40 standard years, and the final practical examination never changed: capture or neutralize a thornback ravager from the conservation planet's wilderness. The creatures were 3 meters of armored fury, apex predators with razor-sharp spines, territorial aggression, and a well-documented hatred of sentient life. "You have 3 days," the reptilian professor announced to his class of senior students. "Stun weapons, containment fields, and tranquilizer darts are available. Document your methodology and return the specimen, or proof of neutralization, for evaluation." The students dispersed into the wilderness with their equipment. Vrelian students deployed sensor nets and tracking algorithms. Korthian teams coordinated suppression tactics through their hive link. The insectoid Zephyrites set elaborate traps using pheromone lures. Tom Bradford, the exchange student from Earth, took a canteen of water, some dried meat, and a length of rope. Professor Krelnix monitored the exercise from base camp, watching biometric readouts with satisfaction. By day 2, most teams had located ravagers and begun their capture attempts. Several had already succeeded using various combinations of technology and tactical planning. Tom's biometrics showed he'd been stationary near a ravager den for nearly 18 hours. "Curious," Krelnix muttered. "Perhaps the human is observing behavioral patterns?" On the morning of day 3, the students began returning. The Vrelians presented a sedated ravager in a containment cube. The Korthians had driven one into a capture pen using coordinated movements. Each team explained their methodology with scientific precision. Tom hadn't returned. As Krelnix prepared to send a rescue team, the ground began to shake with rhythmic thumps. The students scattered as something massive approached through the tree line. A thornback ravager burst into the clearing, but instead of attacking, it trotted almost playfully toward the assessment area. On its back, sitting comfortably between its dorsal spines, was Tom Bradford, one hand gripping a spine like a saddle horn, the other holding what appeared to be a sandwich. "Morning, Professor." Tom called out cheerfully as the ravager settled onto its haunches. He slid off its back and patted its armored flank affectionately. The creature, which should have been trying to eviscerate everyone in sight, made a sound almost like a purr. The clearing fell absolutely silent. "What? How?" Krelnix's translator struggled to process his shock. Tom shrugged. "She was pretty aggressive at first, but I just hung around her territory, didn't make any threatening moves. Shared some of my rations. Turns out ravagers are actually social creatures, they're just territorial because everyone keeps trying to hunt them." He scratched behind the creature's auditory ridge, and it leaned into his touch. "Spent yesterday just sitting with her, building trust. This morning she let me climb on. We took a ride through the forest. I named her Barbara." "You named it?" Krelnix's jaw hung open. "Her," Tom corrected. "And yeah. Look, Professor, humans domesticated wolves, creatures that hunted our ancestors, into dogs. We turned wild horses into transportation. We made cats into companions even though they're obligate carnivores. We've been befriending dangerous animals for thousands of years." Barbara the Ravager yawned, showing rows of razor teeth, then nuzzled Tom's shoulder. "The assignment was to capture or neutralize," Tom continued. "I figured making friends was technically neutralizing the threat. Plus, now she can be studied in a non-stressed state, which is way better for actual scientific understanding." A Vrelian student looked at their containment cube, where their specimen thrashed and snarled. "Our approach seems inefficient by comparison." Tom fed Barbara a piece of dried meat. "Most species see a predator and think, threat to eliminate. Humans see a predator and think, could I pet that? It's worked out surprisingly well for us." Professor Krelnix updated his lesson notes. Humans possess unprecedented capacity for interspecies bonding. Recommend psychology evaluation. Also recommend increased liability insurance for human students. Tom and Barbara trotted off together, already planning their next adventure. The Ravager conservation program would never be the same.